Good morning. How's it going? It's Scott Schneider filling in for Peter Resnicek. It is Tuesday, September 17th. We are opening with a true gap up, meaning we're opening outside yesterday's trading range. So gap rules are in play. We are also looking at the ES. We have moved on to the Z contract. So now that we have a full day where the volume was heavier on the Z contract, it helps us with the profile, and this is when we at ShadowTrader make the transition. So I'm looking at the overnight, the extended hours high on the 3rd of September, which is located at 5730.5. And we are just up against there right now. Now the first move, on a gap up is always going to be about the potential fade. The fade would bring us back into yesterday's trading range. If we don't get the fade back into yesterday's trading range, then we have a possibility of a gap and go scenario. So if we look at the profile and we look at the overnight session, you can see that we have these single prints that occurred in the middle of the overnight session. And it's got two distributions. So you have two-sided trade that occurred in the lower range below settlement. And you had a lot of two-sided trade that occurred outside of yesterday's range above settlement. But with that said, the overnight point of control is below settlement of yesterday's session, and it's at just near the open of the overnight session, and that is at 56.9475. And the reason I bring that up is because if we do get a fade and we come back into the range, I would look to possibly target the overnight point of control. It can act as a magnet, and it's a very good visual reference. So that area is 56.9475. If sellers get into yesterday's trading range and get below the overnight point of control, the next level would be, we had the pullback low in K period at the 56.8950. So that's just below the overnight low. And then the halfback of yesterday's session at 56.8625. Any selling, including a fade, that comes back into range of yesterday's session but fails to get below this halfback is not strong selling, in my opinion. And we'll have to keep that, narrative going forward. So we need the sellers to get below yesterday's halfback if the fade is going to happen, and then eventually they would have to get outside of yesterday's regular trading hours range around the 56.6950 area. If we have a gap and go scenario, meaning we get, the bell opens and we get a little bit of a fade, but it doesn't take us back into yesterday's regular trading hour session around the 57.0275 area, then, you can look to buy, and, the first targets would be, the regular trading high on the 26th, and then that overnight high on the 3rd, and then eventually, we'll get into the range on the 17th of July. There's a gap from the 17th of July all the way up into the range of the 16th, where we made all-time highs. And on the Z contract, that's going to be at 57.85. So we're opening up with a gap up, a true gap up in both ES and NQ, meaning we're opening up outside of yesterday's range. The first expected move is a fade, which would, they would try to sell us back into yesterday's trading range. If sellers cannot do that, then we have to be open to a potential gap and go scenario, and with the expectation that the all-time highs are in play. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Trade smart, trade safe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, this is Scott Schneider from the Futures Room over at ShadowTrader's Live Trading Suite. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you'd like to trade live with me in real time, please click the link in the description below. Have a great day and happy trading.